Hello there and welcome back to another edition of Silly Car Showdown. Today we are taking a look at the Ferrari FXX. This car was requested by the Sim Racer Wannabe, and this one should be pretty darn interesting because of course we have our Ferrari V12 GT, which has been at the top of our leaderboard for quite some time. And, well, the obvious solution to that is by sending a Ferrari after it in the form of this, which is a track-focused version of the LaFerrari. A pretty quick car already on paper, not too much we can do in the way of upgrades, it has to be said, but it'll be interesting to see how this one gets on. There is no engine swaps, and also we are not allowed to swap the drivetrain, which means it must stick with its standard drivetrain, which is mid-engined rear drive. We also are on factory race tyres, which can go up to 305, which is nice, and 365 on the rear, but other than that, we are pretty much stuck with what we have. So in terms of grip, we're not going to get much more else, and, well, in terms of pretty much everything else, we're not going to get much else. We do have the option of the roll cage, which is nice, and then we just do a few basic engine upgrades, and that will round the Ferrari off and out. This is a hybrid car, it's something worth pointing out, but yeah, in terms of actual statistics, I don't think this one's going to be that impressive. 1,144 horsepower, 734 foot-pound of torque, 2,855 pounds of weight, 2.3 seconds to 60, which is very quick actually for a rear-engine car, 215 miles per hour top speed. Yeah, there you go. That is the FXXK. Now, there are a couple of things worth pointing out when it comes to the FXXK in terms of its performance here. I have previously mentioned there is no Forza Aero allowed when it comes to this series, but this car of course is sort of built in with Forza Aero, and by that I mean adjustable aero. The front end and the rear end are fully adjustable, and well, by the game standards they are aero parts. We can't take those off, so they have to stay on the car, and if it comes factory, then my rule, similar to the wide body kits, is just to leave it as is. Of course there's no tuning, so whatever those values are at is what they are at. So yeah, it could be interesting, could be quick. A little bit worried about the fact it's rear-engined, oh sorry, mid-engined rear drive. I don't know if it's going to beat the Lamborghini, but it is certainly going to have a good punt. Let's get it on the track and see what it does. So here we are on the track with our Ferrari FXXK ready to lay down 5 laps to see how quick this car can go. One thing worth noting is my game crashed while I was getting this ready, so maybe that's a sign. Anyways, this car, of course, is going around here with, well, to set a good time, but with one key purpose in mind, and that's dethroning the Ferrari Huracan V12 GT, which set a time of 1:35.743. The FXXK, it's not likely to beat it on this first lap, it's got to be honest, but it'll be interesting to see how well this car gets on. Much like the Huracan, this is the second X-Class car to go around this track, so it should be interesting to see. One thing I am noticing straight away is this thing is a ridiculously nice handling. Not the quickest car in a straight line, the brakes are excellent, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this car does. So far, so good though. Again, not the most interesting of cars, it has to be said, but in terms of outright performance, I mean, it is definitely a silly car, there's no doubting that. Some may call it a little bit sort of, you know, oh, it's a bit boring to run a car like this around here. I slightly agree with you, but then again, you know, if people request it, I will use it eventually. You know, that's sort of my thing with it. There's not a single car on my request list that I have any, you know, notion of not wanting to do, even down to stuff like peels and stuff like that, which cars which don't really interest me. Or 138.639 is its opening gambit. Okay, excellent. Although I think, yes. Well done me. Well done me indeed. Alright. I promise I won't do that all the time, but yeah. You know, I wanted, if I could, I'd cover every car in the game. I don't know if I've got, you know, nearly enough time or the upload schedule or anything like that to do it, but as long as people keep requesting stuff, I'll keep doing it. And, you know, I'll probably end up chucking some of my own stuff in there eventually. There's a question for you, actually. If anyone... sort of, what do you think if I was to throw a few cars into the mix for this series? Do you want me to continue to cover exclusively your requests, or would you be okay with me chucking, you know, say, I don't know, 2-3 cars a month or so into this to see what they can do? Because I've got a few ideas when it comes to this track, but, you know, again, this is sort of a series which I do like to have driven by you people. You know, I want you to... What do you want to see is essentially what I'm saying with this one. So, that's, for me, the most important part. So, but if you want to see me throw some cars in here, then by all means do let me know, because like I said, I've got a couple of ideas sort of after testing the cars for so long, stuff I'd like to see, as well as, you know, stuff which I personally find interesting to drive around here. You know, cars which I don't... Well, cars which I really like, which I don't think are going to get much of a spotlight. So, do let me know. Anyways, this lap counts for nothing. It's all about this next lap coming up. This will be the one where we get to see what the FXX is like. Straight line performance is pretty good. Nowhere near as good as the Lamborghini, but I think in terms of its handling, it definitely has the edge. In terms of acceleration out of each corner, I'd say it does feel very good. It feels surprisingly composed, especially for a rear-wheel drive car. It really does feel more like an all-wheel drive car, in the sense that it's just got that good a turning and, you know, that good of rear-end grip. Of course, there'll be the people down below go, well, of course it is, it's basically a race car. Yes, but this is Forza. Shut up. You know, I wasn't really expecting it to feel quite... Well, I don't know, I was expecting it to be pretty darn good. I don't know if I was expecting it to feel quite this good, though. It feels really very sharp. The one thing that's impressing me more than anything when it comes to this car is the braking performance. The brakes are exquisite on this car. Can get it stopped in an absolute click of the fingers. I'm a bit worried about, you know, whatever comes after this, because I'm gonna be brainwashed into, you know, stopping the car as well as this one stops. It's incredible in terms of its actual overall braking performance. The question is, what is it like after a full lap of the track? Well, we are rushing down towards the finish line. It's gonna do it. It is gonna do it. It is gonna knock off that Ferrari Huracan V12 GT. The question is, can it bury it anymore in the next 2 laps? That remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, it's hardly surprising. It is a very good car to drive. There is absolutely no doubting that. Very good car, very consistent car. You know, the only real worry you've got with driving this is it catching you out, you know, because you really do not expect it to be quite as good as it is. So it can definitely, you know, catch you out. It will amaze you just how quick it is. I am quite surprised it beat the Lamborghini, to be perfectly honest. I was expecting this to be quite stiff. At the end of the day, the Lamborghini does not have the corner grip of this car. The one advantage this definitely has, I said this about this track, in fact today, is this is a track which focuses a lot on high-speed cornering capabilities. And, you know, cars that aren't particularly aerodynamic or have big rear tyres will really struggle with that sort of stuff, because it's all about keeping your speed up through those corners. And what's the one thing that helps through those corners? Aero. What's the one thing most cars don't get the luxury of? Aero. And this car does, so it's quite interesting in that regard. That being said, yeah, the Lamborghini, I think definitely around some tracks could put more of a fight, and of course, we've got to remember, I think the Huracan was running less power than this. That seems right to me. The Huracan obviously has the advantage of all-wheel drive, has the advantage of the wide body kit, the bigger tyres, but the actual racing V12 GT engine actually produces pretty darn similar power to this. It's not the same engine. That's just something worth pointing out quickly. The engine in that car is from a Ferrari F50 GT. This is a hybrid V12. Okay, gonna have a bit of a scary moment through there. I don't think this lap is going to be any quicker. I don't think the FXX is going much quicker. And to be fair, I mean, compared to the Ferrari, it's not that much quicker in the grand scheme of things, so... Much as I said when the Lamborghini came top of the leaderboard, this can be topped. I have no doubt in my mind that this can be topped. I know quite a few cars that could probably smoke this one. But for now, I guess rejoice. The Ferrari has been knocked off by an actual Ferrari, so there you go. There's something to celebrate in Fiorano. Right. On the power towards the line, is it going to go any quicker? It is not. Yeah. A 134, 196 marks the end of the Ferrari Huracan's reign of terror. Out of the two cars, I've got to be honest, I'd probably take the Ferrari. I actually really like that car. I know I give it slack for being at the top of the leaderboard. Whenever a car's at the top of the leaderboard, it always sounds like I want to take it out. I don't, you know. I don't mind cars being at the top of the leaderboard. But, you know, I do... It's exciting to, you know, think of what can go quicker than this car. So I don't hate the Ferrari. Again, actually, if you ask me, I prefer that car. Sure, this one drives nicer, but the Ferrari was crazy. I like the idea of, you know, a V12, an F50 GT engine in a Ferrari Huracan. It's pretty interesting, but, yeah. Either way, that doesn't really matter, because what matters at the moment is that the Huracan has been knocked off. A 134, 196 will put the Ferrari FXXK into first place. It beats out the Huracan by 1.6 seconds. It beats out the Jaguar CX-75 by 2.5 seconds. It is your new champion. It is the new benchmark. It's the new one to beat. But I'm sure there is plenty of cars and plenty of people in the comment section who've probably got ideas of what can beat the FXX already. If you've got an idea, or if you just want to request something silly, you can comment down below and request cars. Alternatively, if you go into the link on the description in my channel, you can go ahead and join my Discord server, and we have a request chat where you can post your request there, which is where I'd recommend. Keeps everything in one nice little order for me, but I can take stuff from the comment section. It's not really an issue. If you go into the description on HG Central, however, you'll find a link to my channel. If you want to enjoy some subpar content with some subpar commentary, you can go ahead and click that link. Without being said and done, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.